Economic growth will be our mission for the duration of this Parliament.
Chancellor Rachel Reeves went into this budget knowing that she had a big problem. She had to find spending cuts across Whitehall, and she also knew that she had to raise taxes along the way. Now, one of the things that she's done is that before this Halloween budget, is that she served up some treats and she served up some tricks. So let me just run through exactly what she said in the budget just now, just a few moments ago in the House of Commons chamber behind me. Now, one big victory for the Sun is that she has kept fuel duty frozen for another year. Now, one thing that also includes is the temporary 5p cut to duty has been extended as well. So that is almost like a double victory for the Sun and the campaigning and the Keep It Down campaign that has been ongoing for the last 14 or 15 years or so. One other good thing for drinkers, some people may say that it's small beer, but there will be a penny off the price of a pint, and she was greeted with loud cheers when she announced that to MPs just a few minutes ago.
Next, I can confirm that alcohol duty rates on non-draft products will increase in line with RPI from February next year. But nearly 2/3 of alcoholic drinks sold in pubs are served on draft. So today, instead of uprating these products in line with inflation, I am cutting draft duty by 1.7%. Off the pints in the pub.
The Treasury sources said before the budget that there may not be any rabbits in the hat to pull out during this budget, but there was one surprise, and I think we can call it a rabbit that she's pulled out. It's the threshold to income tax beyond 2028, 2029. Those thresholds will not be frozen beyond that time. So beyond that, workers will keep more of their money because those thresholds will go up in line with inflation. So that is some good news for workers, but they will have to wait a few years for actually to feel the benefit from that. And don't forget, there was announced last night but confirmed by the Chancellor just now, the minimum wage will go up by 6%. So that will be the equivalent of £12.21 per hour for workers, for those low earners. So that's someone and a group that Rachel Reeves has tried to look out for at this budget, in her first budget, the first budget from a female, that she was very keen to point out during her statement. On the flip side, there are plenty of tricks in here and some things that haven't gone quite as well as what the Chancellor was expecting. She had put growth at the very, very heart of this government's mission, this new Labour government's mission for when they came into power back in July. But the growth forecasts look pretty poor, if I'm being really honest with you. It gets up to 2% in the next five years, but in amongst that, there's growths of everything beginning with 1, 1.6, 1.9, whatever it may well be, but the growth is below that kind of 2% figure, which I think the Chancellor will be pretty disappointed with. And one other big thing, this is probably one of the biggest things in the budget, that big tax raising measure. She's had to raise taxes, and one thing that she has done is raise employers' national insurance contributions. She said at the start of her budget that she wanted to raise taxes by £40 billion. Now, £25 billion of that will come from businesses. So that could hit employers when it comes to thinking about wage increases in the coming years or hiring more people. So I think the business community will feel slightly aggrieved by that, even though they knew it was coming. Now, there are some exemptions to that if you're a small business, you employ 4 people or less. So there'll be some relief there. But in the main, I think business will be slightly disappointed by it. And I think some people will see it as a stranglehold on growth. There was also bad news if you're a smoker, as tobacco prices have gone up. Also, there's going to be a flat duty on vaping liquids. So if you are a vapor, you'll find that the prices that you pay when you go into the shops or wherever you may buy it from are going to go up as well. But one thing the drinks industry will be particularly aggrieved with is the spirits duty increase for spirits and whiskey. The whiskey industry thought that the Chancellor was going to look after them. She had their backs, but they are absolutely incandescent on hearing that news, that they feel they've not been protected. It's seen as a obviously seen as a massive industry in this country and a big export, but they feel particularly let down and aggrieved by the actions of the Chancellor. So overall, the Halloween budget, Halloween of course tomorrow, plenty of tricks, a few treats for the British public. But it's going to be it's going to be hard gruel, this budget, and it's going to be pretty hard for a lot of people, particularly business, to stomach. Rachel Reeves seemed very confident, as you would expect. She had a whole host, hundreds and hundreds of Labour MPs behind her, ready to cheer her on every big announcement, whether it came to the unfreezing of those tax thresholds or the reduction in the price of a pint of beer was greeted with huge cheers. However, there is some angst, as you would expect, on the other side of the chamber when it came to that big hit on business, that £25 billion hike on business when it comes to the raising the national insurance employer contributions. So there may be some good bits for Labour Party to pick out of this, but I think there's a lot to attack. It's going to be pretty hard work for this Labour government in the coming years, particularly when the growth figures were so low. Obviously, the Labour government in their manifesto, they really did put growth at the very heart of their plans. Now, if that is not rising in line with the expectations that they have, they're going to find this first term very hard work. Now, one thing Rachel Reeves did say during that Commons statement is that she sees this as the beginning of a 10-year plan. Now, to get things turned around, as those forecasts show, this really is going to take at least 10 years. Rachel Reeves delivered this. She made great play of the fact that she was the first female to deliver a budget in almost 800 years of the office being held. She took a picture, a selfie with her sister Ellie Reeves, who is also a Labour MP and minister. Very proud of Rachel actually delivering that budget. And she actually mentioned about glass ceilings and that she can be that standard bearer for young girls who are thinking about getting into politics or whichever field they may want to get into, that they can break those glass ceilings. So the Labour Party, and particularly Rachel Reeves, absolutely delighted to be that first female Chancellor, and it's something the Conservatives haven't done, even though they have had 3 female Prime Ministers.